Hello again, beautiful listeners. Welcome back to Pain to Passion Live. Today is such a thrill and such a joy for me because I get to talk with one of my most beautiful, amazing, incredible favorite people, Amberly Lago. Hi, Amberly. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
This is the highlight of my day, for real.
Aw.
Seriously, I love you, you guys. I know you listen to her show because you love her too, but she's the most amazing, incredible, beautiful, giving, loving soul. And I just want you to know, I keep your card. This is the card, your handwritten card.
Aw.
I keep it on my desk. And
Aw.
also, y'all, she sent me a coloring book. It's on my desk too. Because you're
Everyone needs a
amazing.
coloring book. Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, you're
You just made my
amazing.
day.
You are
Oh,
amazing. And it has been incredible to get to know you over the years through your book first, like the first
yes.
edition of your book,
Yes, the first edition.
and then through events. And
Hmm.
now even more so because I get to spend like one-on-one time with you through the mastermind that we're doing together, or you're in my
Yes.
mastermind. And then I just love seeing you soar. So I'm sorry, I'm a fangirl and I'm just going on.
So sweet. You just totally made my day. Thank you so
No, I'm
much.
amazed by all that you have done, and also your new addition to your new book is so exciting.
I'm very excited about that. You guys will hear more about that coming soon, but
Oh, did I
Amberly gets a
spoil it?
sneak
Was it a
peek.
spoiler
No,
alert?
no, definitely not a spoiler.
Okay.
I talk about it, but it's not, like out yet. It's not like
Okay.
official.
Okay. Well, it's
But
amazing. Like I
thank
had
you,
to make
sweet
myself
friend.
put it down. Like put it down and get to work. Like
Oh
put
my
it down.
gosh. You're
So
so,
good.
so sweet. Thank you so much. So, yeah, Amberly, I've known her for about 2 years now, I guess.
I feel
Um,
like it's longer than that.
some relationships are just like that, right?
Like, yeah. I feel like we've known each other forever.
Really, honestly, I met you in quotes because you spoke at Brooke Hemingway's virtual Align event in 2021.
Oh, is that that's where it was?
Yes. So I had
Oh
actually
my
never even
goodness.
heard of you before that. And you got on that screen, and I was sitting in my bed. Everyone's in quarantine, and you started sharing your story. And I was like, ooh, I like this lady. Like, there's just something about her that just resonates with me, and her light and her warmth. And so I was like, I have to get to know her. And I actually remember, Amberly, the first time that I reached out to you was on Instagram in DMs, which, by the way, if you guys don't follow Amberly on Instagram, do it because she is so genuine and warm, and she has created a beautiful community there. Really, really amazing. But I reached out to you in a DM and asked you a question. And I remember because I was walking through my neighborhood, there were like birds singing, and I sent you a message, and you voice messaged me back, and I was amazed. Because you sent me a voice message back, and that's where it all started. So
Oh my goodness. And I just want to say I remember that event. It was a big event Brooke Hemingway did.
mm-hmm.
And I was so honored to be asked to speak at this event. And Trent Shelton was speaking. I think
Yeah.
Shailene Johnson, like Tiff Peterson. She had some big speakers. And I was
Yeah.
so grateful to be a speaker at her event. And I was so new to doing things virtually, and I'm not one for fancy slides or anything like that. I mean, 5 years ago, I didn't even own a computer. So like, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing to me that I'm on a computer and have a mic and a ring light and all the things.
So
And it
fancy.
just goes to show that like, it doesn't matter how old you are, how much you think you don't know. Um, it's never too late to start. You just got to start, because when you do, you can make the most amazing connections and build the most amazing relationships along the way. And so, yeah, I'm so grateful for you and that her event brought us together.
Yes, me too. So I have been just a huge fan and just love everything about you. And like Amberly mentioned, I'm in her Unstoppable Life Mastermind now, which is so incredible. I feel super,
Mm.
super honored to be part of that group of amazing women and led by the fearless leader that you are. So it's just been so much fun getting to know you and being able to glean so much from you. You're an amazing human. And I don't know, I think some of my audience probably doesn't know who you are,
I'm sure
which,
most of them don't. Not many people
yeah.
do.
Oh, please.
I was surprised.
So
Let me tell you,
modest.
I was at the gym. I was at the gym yesterday, and this guy came up to me. So we just moved back to Texas, and this guy comes up to me and goes, Amberly, hey, I'm so and so. I grew up with you in Texas. I had no idea who he was, by the way.
Wow.
I was like, I have no idea who you are. But I was like, wow, hey, good to see you. I'm surprised you recognized me. Because it's been 31 years. but but you never know. I just remember though the first time that someone did actually come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, are you Amberly Lago? You're the author of True Grit and Grace." And I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, what? You know who I am? Like I was blown away. But yeah, I'm sure most of your audience has never heard of me because a lot of people haven't, but it's always like a pleasant surprise when someone does say hi to me
you're
crossing the street.
you're so sweet and so adorable and very modest, but I'm sure it happens to you regularly now. But I do know that those who don't know you need to know you. So I would love for you, even though we've talked here for a few minutes, I would love for you to kind of just give us an intro. Like, who is Amberly? What do you do? What are you about? Just tell us a little bit like what you would want people to know about you.
I would say that my favorite thing to do is to build community and support and empower other women. And I think what has helped me so much get through some of the hardest times of my life is being of service and offering support and practicing gratitude. And I say that because, you know, like you, Gabi, I know you've had some really difficult things that you've had to overcome and that you deal with and the PTSD from that. For me, I didn't have the perfect childhood, as most of us don't have a perfect childhood. You know, there was sexual abuse, there was alcoholism, there was a lot of time, like a lot of things that in the moment, like I thought that was normal and I thought that's how it was supposed to be. And I didn't realize that until I was an adult and had my own child from my current husband now, who's a loving, amazing father. And he loves our daughter the way he does that. I was like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
But so I spent so much of my time from the time that I was sexually abused, starting at 8 years old, um, into high school, running from pain and running towards like all these achievements and success and trying to make something of my life. I mean, and in school, I was a straight A student. I graduated an honor roll student, all the things. But it wasn't until later on in life when, you know, I had had the successful career. I had the, you know, huge business I built up in the fitness industry, and that I had all these fitness trainers that I employed, and I was sponsored by Nike. It wasn't until I was hit by an SUV while riding my motorcycle home from work one day, and I was confined to a hospital bed for months at a time that I realized I had spent most of my life running
Mm,
from pain and running towards success. And it was like, wow, I had no idea how to process so many feelings or emotions. And it led me down a spiral of despair. And so a lot of people will think like going through, I woke up out of a coma from my motorcycle accident, being told I had a 1% chance of saving my leg from amputation. And I had 34 surgeries to save my leg from amputation. And that wasn't actually my darkest moment. My darkest moment came later when I got home from the hospital. It was like I was diagnosed with this disease called complex regional pain syndrome, which there's supposedly no known cure. It's ranked highest on the pain scale. It's nicknamed the suicide disease because it's like gasoline is going through your veins and a vice grip is on my leg. That's what it feels like all the time.
mm,
And pain can be really hard on you, not just physically, but hard on you mentally. Like it can shorten your patience for sure, as far as being a good mom, a patient mom, a nice, loving wife. It affects the whole family unit. And what I've learned through this process of the surgeries and being diagnosed with this disease and getting through $2.9 million worth of medical expenses and building my life back up to where we just bought a house here in Dallas when we had a lien on our house at one time, to building up a whole new career and reinventing myself. There's been so many life lessons and so many lessons along the way, lessons of resilience, lessons on self-development, spiritual lessons, and it's just so many lessons. And so I'm an open book as far as to where you want to go and how I can best serve your audience, whether it is on the trauma, whether it is on the pain, whether it is on the business. I'm here to serve you and your audience. But yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure.
yeah, no kidding. I think probably everyone who's listening could probably relate to at least one piece of what you just shared. And the thing that hit me most when you started talking was how you learned early, like running hard and running away was like how you survived,
Mm-hmm.
right? And honestly, there it makes so much sense that that's what you did based on the experiences that you were having. And I think a lot of us do that in some way or another. We all are chasing safety in some way, right? Our baseline is like, how do I get safe? How do
Yeah.
I find safety? And the way for you to
Safety
do
is
that,
so important, isn't it?
yes, it is. It is.
When you've been through trauma, to feel safe is like, for me, that's what I want. Like
Mm-hmm.
I and to try to describe that to someone who's never been through trauma,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't hit them quite the same. But when you describe that to someone who's been through trauma, like I can share that with my sponsor, like how I just want to feel safe. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy, Gobby. Like I still go to the bathroom with the door locked in my own home.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that? Like, and I sat on the sofa today in our new home and I sat there and I thought, I feel safe here. Like it
Mm-hmm.
feels safe. But you never know what can trigger that and make you feel unsafe. And so, yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of cut you off
No,
there.
absolutely.
But I mean, talking to you, it's like we speak the same language,
Mm-hmm.
and to understand that safety is a priority. But yeah, and running, shoot, I was just running to prove that I was worthy because I felt so unworthy and felt so full of shame that when I was getting first place in all the track meets and honor roll and straight A's and 100 plus, uh, and talented and gifted program, it was like, see, I am worthy.
Mm-hmm.
See, I am worthy of being loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that so much. That just performing to the extreme, like having to be extraordinary at everything you did
Mm-hmm.
in order to feel any kind of value, feel worthwhile, feel like you could be loved. Maybe it was the only opportunity for you to get like praise from some people.
Or
And
just feel accepted, or like
yes.
it wasn't even praise for me. Yeah, that would have been nice, but it wasn't even praise for me. It was just like, can you just accept me? Can you
Mm-hmm.
just look at me? Can you
Mm-hmm.
just, and I think we all want to feel seen and loved and heard and understood. And I was just like, hey, can you just please like accept me? Like, please? It's just crazy. And, my brothers grew up in the same environment. And one of my both of my full blood brothers, I have a half brother too, who's completely disabled, and he lives in an assisted living home. He can't walk or talk or anything. He's been that way his whole life. He had brain damage when he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then my my younger brother and my older brother, instead of like me, I ran for how can I go towards something that makes me feel good, which is let me achieve more, let me do more. They got into unhealthy habits like drinking and drugging.
Mm-hmm.
And so it goes to show you that trauma is trauma, and we will find ways to escape it no matter
Absolutely.
what. And it's usually not healthy unless we do
Mm-hmm.
the work to heal it.
Yeah. So, where do you think that that originated for you? Like that just such a lack of being seen to the extent that every child needs to be seen, to the point that it motivated you like to have your own addiction really of achievement, right? What do you think, where do you think that came from in you, in your story?
Well, I think that when all this was happening, I think that I want to do something that something that makes me feel good. And for me, something that made me feel good was dancing. My
Mm-hmm.
mom luckily put me in dance classes. I was a big tomboy, and I think maybe she thought it was the girly thing to do. And dancing brought me joy, but it brought me even more joy when I could dance for other people and I would
Mm-hmm.
see them smile and they would clap and they would laugh and they loved it. And so that brought me joy. And so I was determined to take as many dance classes as I could, if that meant scrubbing the toilets at the dance studio, working in the office at the dance studio, whatever I had to do to get to be better. I was willing to do the work, but I also saw that like how running made me feel good. And
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense now. I didn't know it at the time, but what it did for me was, well, it running obviously, and it boosts your endorphins. So it released these feel good chemicals in my body naturally that made me feel good. When I got first place, oh wow, that was another dopamine hit. Like, woo, you got
Totally.
first, dopamine, let keep winning, girl. And when I ran, it was the first time in my life that I really, really felt connected to God. Because
Mm-hmm.
running on the track out in nature is when I connected with God and I prayed. And I remember this one distinct moment so vividly. I was on the track and I was struggling. And I remember praying, saying, God, please help me. I just need to get through this. And I swear it felt like a wave of wind behind me that helped me keep run that helped me kept that I kept running.
Wow.
And it was so vivid in my mind. I was in 8th grade, and I remember that feeling and thinking, whoa, this prayer is powerful. And to this day, maybe it was a gust of wind, or maybe it was God's hand on my back pushing me forward. Who knows? But I chose to believe it was God's hand.
Mhm.
And I think that all those things that I turned to saved me. And I let the pain push me before I allowed the passion to pull me. And
Mm,
when I was 18, I worked 4 jobs to save up $1,200 to move to California. And that pain pushed me to work really hard and bust my butt and save up money so I could move to California. When I got to California, my passion pulled me,
mm,
and I got to do things that I dreamt. I mean, I had only dreamed of doing these things my whole life. And so I don't think that we are defined by our circumstances, because I'm living proof that, I mean, I, with me and my brothers and how we've come up the same way, but ended up so differently. Our our circumstances don't define us. It's what we choose to do with what's left. It's what we choose to do and believe in ourselves and go forward with courage and keep moving forward and make something out of our life. And so, yes, it's mindset and it's belief, but then it's action. And
mhm.
so many people, I feel like, want to manifest or think about or dream of it, but no, you got to take action. You got to do the work. It's about the grit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're such a living example of that. And I think what's so cool, like I'm piecing all these fun things together in my brain about your story, but I think what's so cool is a lot of what you did as a young person came from like the need to have an outlet, to find joy, to feel better, to feel good. And I see this over and over again in people's lives where a lot of that manifested out of pain. You found your solution for you that you had to do in order to survive and be okay in those moments. And then you're talking about you're 18, you move, and suddenly it turned into your passion. And that's what was pulling you and inspiring you to keep going and kept the strength and kept you invigorated to keep going. And I know that your passion pulling you is still something that defines you to this day. But
Mhm.
it's amazing to me, like, because I'm totally a God girl, that those circumstances that shouldn't have been when you were a child, like they were not healthy. It was not okay what happened as a child to you, you know? But God still saw you and said, here, like, here's your pathway, here are your solutions, and how that's turns into your passion and what continues to motivate you. Like, I just think that that is so amazing and so beautiful. Plus, you have this grit inside of you that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't faced
Mhm.
difficulties, right? Now, you mentioned that your story is so different than your brother's stories. The way that you have chosen to face life. And that's so true. Like we can face similar circumstances to other people. But what do you think it really has been inside of you that has continued to motivate you towards um, I'd say away from bitterness and away from despair and towards hope and towards service and to continue to keep going because I think that's a really unique thing inside of you.
Oh, well, I think you said it when you said service, because
Mm-hmm.
I have always loved, I mean, ever since I was a little kid, and my mom tells me stories that I'm like blown away by, but about like when I was little that I don't remember. But I have always loved helping people. I mean, from the time I was in school and student council and a volunteer, and helping, but I really think that what has helped me is when you can get out of yourself and stop like focusing on, oh, all these things that are going on that are wrong or that you're in pain, or that you can start to focus on someone else and see how you can be of service. It's medicine. It helped me get through. And I'll give you an example. When I was in the hospital the first time, and this was like after my motorcycle accident, and my leg was held together with these steel bars, and I would wake up every day and they're like, we're going to try to save it today. We're going to have one more surgery. It was always like one more, try to piece it back together. And I remember getting on the phone with a client of mine, and she obviously didn't know how the severity of my surgery. And she had called me. I think I'd reached out to her to say, I think I might have to reschedule our appointment. I was like, didn't know how long I was going to be in the hospital and how long I'd be out of work, which was for a year and a half. I actually ended up never training that client again, but we're still friends to this day.
Wow.
But I was on the phone with her and she called me crying, and she was very upset because she found out she was pregnant and she wasn't ready to have another baby and blah, blah, blah. And I ended up getting off the phone with her, promising her to babysit when I got out of the hospital. And it made me feel good. It gave her comfort. And it was like, oh, it took my mind off of any self-pity or any doubts or any anxiety that I had in that moment. So it goes that way no matter what. Like if I am really nervous about doing a talk or even recording a solo cast for my podcast episode, I'm like, Amberly, get out of your ego. Like, why are you doing this? You're not doing this for for me. I'm doing this to serve others. And I'll never forget the first time I ever was asked to go speak in front of an audience, and it was in front of a bunch of financial advisors, realtors, bankers. And I was like, I can't believe they want me. Why do they want me to come speak to them? Like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out. And I called my dad on the way there. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, blah, blah, blah. He goes, well, why would you want to do public speaking? Don't you know that's the number one fear other than death itself? And I'm like, thanks, Dad. You're not making me feel better. He goes, but wait a minute. He goes, remember something. This isn't about you. This is about the people you serve. And I was like, wow, he's so right. In the minute I take my mind off of me and my ego and my pride, and I start focusing on, like, why did I start this in the first place? It was because I wanted to impact one person. And I noticed that's something that you said in your writing, Gabi, in the very first intro of your book, is like, if this book touches one person.
Mhm.
And that's how I started. And I got off the phone with my best friend on Thanksgiving. And she was like, hey, I'm so proud of you, all the things that you're doing, like all these events that you're speaking at, like you're speaking with John Maxwell and Ed Milet, and you're doing your own event and blah, blah, blah. And I just remember back when you didn't even own a computer and you were having trouble figuring out how to send an email. I was like, yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And she's like, I'm just really, really proud of you. She goes, I remember when you told me you wanted to write your book because you wanted to impact one person.
Mm.
And I wrote that down because sometimes it can get kind of crazy in life, and the
Mhm.
hustle and the bustle and the holidays and the family get-togethers and the challenges and everything that we go through. And we have to focus on, why did we start doing what we're doing in the first place? Like, what is
Mhm.
our why? And I've had to do that a lot recently. You know, why did I start? What do I love doing? What sets my heart on fire? And so, anybody listening to this that you're like, oh, wow, well, you're lucky you had a passion or you have your purpose. Well, I didn't know exactly what I was going to start doing after I'd lost my career. And I had to start by asking myself, okay, well, what does bring me joy? what would I do every single day, even if I didn't get paid? And I didn't get paid for a long time. And believe me, my husband got really sick of it after being an entrepreneur for about 2 years and being in the hole or barely breaking even. He'd be like, when are you going to give this up? And I'm like, I've got this vision. It's going to pan out. Just hang on. And so I think we have to trust our vision, feed positivity into our vision, and
Mhm.
then surround ourselves with people who believe in us and believe in our vision and support us every step of the way. And that's why
Mhm.
I'm hanging out with you.
And that's why I'm hanging out with you. Yes, I mean, talking about that one person, when you have that focus of if there's one person that this can impact today, or if what I'm writing right now will help one person not give up on their life or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, if that continues to be like the posture of your heart and how you think, you're going to impact a lot of people, right? But it's because those people, and I know a lot of people have experienced this with you, it's those people feel as individuals like they're valued by you. Because if you are going out and trying, being like, I'm going to reach X amount of people today with this amazing message that I have, or whatever I have to say, then those people are just part of a group. Like they're a nameless, faceless glob. And they'll feel that from you. Like, oh, I'm just like one of these nameless, faceless people. Like maybe something you said inspires me, but it doesn't feel personal to me. But the way that you serve and the way that people like you serve is in this way of like, I want to impact individuals. And all of those individuals add up to a lot of people, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
because, like me as an individual, I feel seen and understood by you as a person. Like you see me even if I'm in a crowd. Does that make sense? To have this sense of like everyone's an individual. We're
Mm.
not just a whole group. I'm like such a Bible nerd sometimes, and I love it. But
I love it.
I
I
was
love
reading
that. Like
uh
it's my husband. I go to church. My husband doesn't go to church with me.
sure.
He can quote stuff from the Bible. And I'm like, how do you know that? Like I was zoning out in Bible school. Okay. I have to admit it. Yeah. But I
That's
love that
okay.
you're a Bible nerd and I love that you include it in your writing, in your book.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was my life-saving tool as a kid, which still amazes me to this day. It's like it's crazy how much that has meant to me. But just this morning, I was reading the end of Philippians, the book of Philippians. And at the end of Philippians, it's Paul, the Apostle Paul, who writes the book of Philippians. And he says, greet each of the saints in Jesus. And he did not say, greet all of the saints in Jesus, which made me think it's like this, what you're saying. This is me geeking out, by the way. This is what I do.
I love
But
it.
he said that specifically the wording that he used, even in the Greek, was greet each of the saints. Like every single one of them needs to be greeted face to face. Like we all need that face to face. Like you matter, every individual matters. And when you're what I'm trying to say is when you're driven from that space of like I want to impact individuals, it really changes the way that you serve. It changes the way that you show up. It changes the way even how you feel about social media. I know there are days when I'm like, oh man, I worked so hard on this reel. Like nobody likes it. But
Oh,
wait a minute. 14 people, if 14 people like it, okay, that's 14 individual people whose
mm-hmm.
lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's the same for a podcast.
yeah.
When you're getting downloads,
Mm-hmm.
when I first started my podcast and I was getting 250 downloads an episode, I'm like, oh my gosh, that costs so much money to produce that, and so much time, and the effort that went behind, and only 250 people saw it. And is it worth it? Should I keep going? Like, well, actually, I didn't ask myself that even. And I didn't look at downloads in the beginning, but it was about a year into it where I was like, wow, this is a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time. Is it? And I was committed. I was like, let me give it a year. And I was like, is it worth the downloads? And I had to go, you know what? It is worth the downloads, because the
Mhm.
people that are listening to this, and like today, let me tell you, I looked darn chartable, and I was like, oh my gosh, last week was the worst downloadable week I've had since I started my podcast. I mean, I was like, and I had like a legend. I had like the Tony Robbins, who's known as the Tony Robbins of Persia, on the show. And you're like, oh, I've got a superstar on the show, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And I was like, I didn't get any downloads. And I mean, well, I got some, but I was like, you know what? It was Thanksgiving. People were their families. And I was like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. It matters the people that did hear the show,
Mhm.
you know, and focus on that, and just
Mhm.
keep moving forward. And you know what? That is honestly, I was like, I'm not paying attention to numbers or any of that. And I'm just focusing on my intention, on why I'm doing it. And I did not even realize that my podcast became a top 1% podcast on Apple globally. I didn't even know that. I had a friend of mine find out. She screenshotted me and sent it to me. She goes, Amberly, you realize your podcast is top 1% on Apple, right? And I'm like, what? Really? That's crazy. No, I've just been like doing the work,
Yeah.
focusing on what I'm doing, like focusing on my attention, putting my head down, going forward. And, and so, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. I love that. I love that you were just like so focused on what you knew you were meant to do and your why. Which, by the way, I was thinking about this earlier because you have this book, which here it is for anyone watching the video version, True Grit and
Oh,
Grace. Oh, you're gonna
we
take a
need a
picture.
screenshot. I need your book. I haven't even unpacked all my books yet.
Unpacking books is a big deal if you're anything like me and you're a book hoarder.
It is a big deal.
It's a big
It is a
deal.
big deal, but I
Yes, but
love books.
this is such a good book for anyone listening. Amberly's book is wonderful. If you're loving listening to her talk, the way that she writes is very similar, just like very engaging, very warm. I
Simple is what you're trying to say.
No, that's not
Simple.
simple in
No,
a
it's
good
so
way.
true.
It's not complicated to read, but that's a good thing. And it's just very engaging and very relatable and
Well,
amazing
thank you.
stories.
I
I love
keep
the
it
book.
short and sweet and easy to read.
Yeah,
Right to
I
the
don't think I have that gift. But it's an incredible book. But I was thinking earlier today because you've mentioned that you didn't have a computer until like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's almost
And
6 years ago now.
almost
Almost six
six. Oh,
years.
hey.
Getting up there. I'm getting
But you
very
wrote
tech
a
savvy
book.
now.
You wrote a book, okay? And something in you said you need to write a book. And this was not what you did. Like you were a fitness trainer, you were a dancer, you were all of these other things, and you made this huge pivot. But there had to have been such a fire burning inside of you to say, like, I'm going to write a book when you don't even have a computer, right?
Oh my gosh. Heck yeah, look, I wrote it on one of these notebooks. I still love these. I always have a notebook on my desk. And so, and I had a lot of people that were like, you need to stick to fitness. You don't own a computer. Let's just, no, you're the fitness girl. And I was like, but all this could not have happened for no reason. And I think we
Mm,
all have a story.
mhm,
And I mean, you're listening to this right now, you have a story. and you
Mhm.
have overcome something that somebody needs to learn about, read about, hear about, that's going to help them. You are creating, you're maybe a couple of steps ahead or a few steps ahead of them, and they need to have your guidance. They need to have your story to have that hope and inspiration. And so I kept thinking to myself, okay, well, if I can share this and share ways I got through it, then I can help somebody get through despair and have hope and have the motivation to keep moving forward.
And so you did it. You just did the dang thing.
Yes. And you know what? I will just say, I mean, I hear some people talk and they're like, oh, it was so easy. It just poured out of me. And I'm like, it took me 2 years. It took me two
Mhm.
years to write my book. So I'm not sitting here trying to say it was easy. It took me 2 years because I was in between surgeries. I also got sober in the end of writing my book. I really like living. It's very cathartic to write, and
Mhm.
writing about the sexual abuse and um, domestic abuse and so many other things that I wrote about. It was very cathartic, but it took me down a path of where it felt like I was being drug over the cobblestones, and to where I could get up on my feet again
Yeah.
and move forward. And so, and there was a lot of shame because I thought, I was never a partier, never a drinker. And I was like, I'm so different from people in my family. I am not an addict. And then lo and behold, I'm an addict. And so having to go for recovery and get sober in the middle of writing my book was hard. But I did put a little of that in there just so people know, like, yeah, man, life can be hard, but there are ways through it. And I share that because if I could do it all over again, I would definitely hire a coach or a mentor or get in a mastermind so I could time collapse that journey and
Mm.
do it a little faster.
Yeah. Yeah. You live and learn
Mm-hmm.
for sure, but you still got it done. And
And I
it
guess I learned a lot of lessons along the way that I can now
absolutely,
share with other people,
yeah, that is definitely true.
like
And
get
I,
a mentor.
yes. So you're helping other people find their shortcuts because you didn't,
Yes, yes.
which is good for them. Yeah. But I love that you did share some of your sobriety story. And by the way, kudos on that whole journey because that is not an easy thing to do for anyone. And
Mm,
I think this goes full circle back to what we were talking about in the beginning about safety. Um, One of the things that I hear time and time again about addiction is like it's all based in trauma,
uh-huh.
right? It's all based in that deep seated need of needing to find a place to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
for,
quieten the noise
right.
or escape the feelings,
Yep.
escape the pain. And
Yeah.
my escape before was my athleticism and being a workaholic and creating this empire that I created, my business that I created. When all that was stripped away and I had nothing and I was stuck in a hospital bed and nothing I was taking was helping for the pain, no medical treatments, no, nothing. I remember having a glass of wine and thinking, oh, wow, this kind of helps with the pain. And this kind of helps me stuff these feelings down. And it worked until it didn't.
Hmm. Yeah. And we all do it in our own ways, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We do. It's that lack of being able to be in control. Like you had no control over whether or not you could get out of pain. Like that's maddening for anybody. Like it's so maddening. And we're all going to find ways when we're in a situation where that's out of our control to dissociate. which is a big word. But for some of us, that's going to be through alcohol. For some of us,
Mm-hmm.
like me, literally, I found out that I had dissociated most of my life. Like literally, like my brain was like up here somewhere and my body was like way down here somewhere. And that's what different addictions help us to do when we have no control, because we can't find safety. So we just numb out in
Mm-hmm.
some kind of way.
That's where
But
eating disorders come from.
yep.
Addictions come from all sorts, whether it's porn or
Yeah.
shopping or it's based out of trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. But what you've done in getting sober in a community, you know,
Mm-hmm.
with the help of a community, is you find a new way to be
Mm-hmm.
functioning and to be safe and to be coping with that situation in a more healthy way. And that's really the goal for all of us, right? Is to
Mm-hmm.
find healthier ways to go through the difficulties of life that we're all going to face. And so much of that is about community, which again, you said at the very beginning, you're all about community. You want to create community for people. And I love that about you. So thank you. Just thank you for who you are. And thank you
Mm.
for your example and for being vulnerable and authentic and showing the real, the raw, the ugly, the victories, and everything in between, because it's so helpful for anyone who is trying to figure out how to do these things in a healthier way, to have purpose, to serve well, and to have the grit and the grace to move
Mm.
forward with their lives in a way that is meaningful. It means something, right?
Oh, well,
Oh,
thank you. Thank you. I love you. And I feel so honored to be on your show with your community. I know that you attract the most amazing people
oh,
that I would resonate with for sure. Like I just like look on your Instagram and see. And yeah, I just want anyone listening to know that you have the power to change your life. Doesn't matter how many times you have to start over. You get to start over and you get to decide who you want to be and where you want to be. And if I can climb my way out of, you know, debt and despair and addiction, what's to say, anything's possible for anybody listening to go after their dreams.
mm,
But I think it does really take community, asking
mm,
for help. That's what changed my life, is when I asked for help.
mm. Yeah, that's a big deal. It's a big
Being
deal.
being able to ask for help.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just got distracted. So my daughter, I'm looking outside. My daughter keeps walking by the window trying to distract me.
Aw, she's so cute.
She's fun. She wants a potbelly pig for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Of course she does. That's amazing.
Of course she does. And a goat and a cow.
It
But we're
doesn't
going to have to
surprise
decide on
me.
one.
I love that so much. And you're such a good mom, by the way. It's so
Oh,
fun
you're an
watching you
amazing
mom.
mom.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing my best.
You are. You're amazing.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Well, I appreciate your time so very much. It's always just a joy to chat with you. I would love for our listeners to be able to connect with you. So, if you can tell us what the best ways are to get involved with what you're doing and connect with you, I'll include everything in the show notes too. But if there's anything else you want to share about how to connect and say before we
Yeah.
go, we'd love to hear that.
Well, I would love to say to all your listeners to definitely be on the lookout for Gabi to be on stage in March. She's going to be at the Unstoppable Success Summit in March. It's put on by the Unstoppable Life Mastermind. So you can find that at Amberly Lago Motivate or amberlylago.com. Instagram is Amberly Lago Motivation. but details for the Unstoppable Life Mastermind. But I can't wait to see you on stage. But yeah,
Oh,
anything you can reach out to me, DM me. And you know what? Maybe I should give your listeners um a playbook to get how to get through anything and thrive.
that
Would
would
that
be
be
awesome.
helpful?
Yes, that would be
If
amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to give them as much as I can. I just appreciate you having me on the show. So if you just text me the word grit, just GRIT, just that. You can text me later and say, "Hey, I heard you on Gobby's show," but just text me the word grit and then it will give you a free downloadable resource called How to Get Through Anything and Thrive. And it walks you through my signature pacer method on how to be resilient. And yeah, and then text me and say, hey, and whatever. And it's actually me texting you back. So it might take me, sometimes it takes me a day or two to get back to the messages, but it's actually me. And it's so funny because I've had people go, oh my gosh, this is really you. I'm like, yeah, no, it's me texting you back. Yeah.
You're so
So,
good at that. You're great at that.
oh my goodness, I love it. It actually, I think what keeps me going
Hmm.
is being able to connect with other people.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a huge one. And you're very gifted at it. So yeah, I'll include all of that in the show notes. You guys can check it out and definitely get that playbook. The pacer method's amazing. So you all will absolutely love that. But I love you, Amberly. You're such a
I love
joy.
you. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much for having me on.
you.
And I need to have you on my podcast. So we'll get that scheduled
I
out
would
too.
love that. That would be amazing.
Maybe we'll do that when your second edition of your book comes out.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea.
That's what I'm talking
Fabulous.
about. Yeah.
Well, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll chat soon. Bye.